In a small industrial town lived a man named Harold Bennett. Every morning, for 15 long years, Harold walked the same gray road to the same gray factory. He worked in the assembly line, tightening bolts, cutting metal, and watching the clock move slowly through each 12-hour shift. Harold was a quiet man. He did his job well, never complained, and never missed a day. But inside, he was restless. Every time the machines roared and the whistle blew, he wondered if this was all life had to offer. Sometimes, during lunch breaks, he looked out the window and whispered to himself, "There has to be more than this." Harold had one secret dream: to build something of his own. His coworkers clapped and cheered. The supervisor said, "You're wasted on the line, Harold. You've got the mind of an engineer." That night, as Harold walked home under the streetlights, those words echoed in his head. "You've got the mind of an engineer." For the first time in years, he believed it. He didn't need to quit his job right away, but he could start learning. Harold bought an old laptop and enrolled in an online business course. After his shifts, while others rested or watched TV, Harold studied. Tired, but determined. He learned about e-commerce, marketing, customer service, and product design. Sometimes he fell asleep at the desk. Sometimes he wanted to give up. But every time doubt whispered, he remembered the sound of the factory, that endless noise, and told himself, "I'm building my way out." Months passed. Slowly, he started his first small online shop, selling handmade tools and parts he fixed in his garage. At first, he sold nothing. But he didn't stop. He improved his listings, took better photos, and listened to customer feedback. After 3 months, he got his first order, a $25 wrench. He packed it carefully, wrote a thank you note, and smiled like a child. It wasn't about the money. It was proof that he could do it. The next 2 years were hard. He worked full-time at the factory, then spent nights running his small business. He started designing small, unique tool sets that people loved. His online shop slowly grew. First 10 orders a month, then 50, then hundreds. One afternoon, his supervisor called him into the office. "Harold," he said, "you've been distracted lately. Are you thinking of leaving?" Harold hesitated. He looked out the window, the same view he'd seen for 15 years. And suddenly, he realized the answer. "Yes," he said softly. "I think it's time." He walked out of the factory gates that evening, not as a worker, but as a man who finally believed in his dream. Harold turned his garage into a full workshop. He registered his business officially, Bennett Tools and Repair. He hired 2 helpers from his old factory and promised them fair pay and respect. He worked harder than ever before, but now, every drop of sweat felt different. It wasn't just labor, it was purpose. In 3 years, his small online shop grew into a trusted brand with thousands of loyal customers. He wasn't rich, but he was free, and that was worth more than money. One evening, Harold stood in his workshop as the sun set. The machines were quiet, the air smelled of wood and oil, and his hands were covered with dust. He thought about all the years he spent tightening bolts for someone else's dream. Then he smiled and whispered, "It's never too late to build your own." He knew now that success doesn't come from luck or talent. It comes from belief, patience, and a little courage every day. No dream is too small, and no person is too late to start. You don't have to quit everything at once. Just begin where you are, with what you have, and keep going. As Harold proved, even a factory worker can become a builder of dreams if he refuses to stop believing in himself.